Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream. My name is Laura Cantu, and I am very excited to be here today as we discuss what to do over winter break because, yes, believe it or not, time is flying by and winter break is upon us. I feel like it was just summer break that we had just gone back to school, and now it's about to be winter break. The holidays are almost here, and I think time does fly by. That is why it's very important to stay on top of your college planning. It is very important to always be aware of what your child, or if you're a student watching this, what you should be doing during every month, during every week. Have a really set plan so you stay on top of everything, because time does fly back, as you can see. And today, well, as I mentioned, we're talking about what to do over winter break. And of course, please let me know in the comment section where you're joining from. Share your name, or share a hello, say hi. Like Lily Bias says hello, waving at us. Hello, Lily. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, don't be scared or don't be shy. Share your comments in the chat. We love it when these streams, when these live streams, live events that we have are interactive. So please talk to us, chat with us. Let me know how you're doing today. Let me know if you're joining, whether you are a parent, whether you are a student watching us, because I really do love to see, what type of audience we have joining us during these live streams, so I can get an idea of, week by week, if we have more parents, if we have more students, and also just know what topics you would like us to cover in these live streams. We like to listen to you guys. And also, please follow us, our social media. We are Best College Aid USA on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So make sure to follow us. Make sure to check out our other social media platforms, because we do post obviously like the same information across all platforms, but there are some platforms that allow us to do different things. We cannot post stories on YouTube, but we can post stories on Instagram or Facebook. So it's good to have access to all of our social media, so you don't miss anything that we publish on all of our platforms, right? Because we do publish updates, we do posts, important information, like when the FAFSA announced the changes that are coming up this year. We are very quick to make a video, make a story, just letting you all know, maybe make a status update on Facebook, just so everybody is aware of these changes that sometimes happen last minute, or just things that are happening seasonal, changes, seasonal things. Like right now it's college application season, and the early applications, like the early decision, early action, those applications were closing on November, and now there are some early applications that close in December, or some students who are going to start hearing from schools in December and January. So all those things, there's a lot of things that happens depending on the month. So we do try to publish content and share information with you via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, so that you are on top of everything that you should be on top of, depending on the month or the time of the year. All right, make sure that you say hello in the chat. I see that there are a lot of people watching us, so I'm really, really excited for that. As I mentioned, today we're going to be covering what to do over winter break. This is going to pertain specifically to my juniors, because this junior year, it's a huge year. You might hear it from teachers, you might hear it from other students, that junior year is a very important year. Sometimes it's the most important year. So it really is a huge year. There's a lot going on. So today I will be sharing what to do during winter break, what your student should be doing, and also check out our new studio, check out our new set. We switched things up. I hope you like it. We are going to be doing more content with Francisco and me, David and Francisco, where we are doing a little bit of a podcast where we're talking about more college admissions and, scholarship tips, updates, and maybe we'll bring on some guests and talk about, very important aspects of the college application. So yeah, check it out. I hope you like it. I hope you stick around so you see what we have in store for you. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, and share before we get started so that more people who are interested in learning the information that we share here in Best College Aid can get to this information, this content. All right, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and start today's presentation? All right, so what is the most important things, or throughout this presentation, we're going to cover a lot of information, but please, or first, I will talk about some of the most important things, especially juniors, that you should be doing, not only over winter break, but just constantly, unless like you are already a senior or your child is already a senior on 12th grade. Searching for colleges and looking for scholarships should be something that can be started since 8th grade. Since 9th grade. 10th grade. 11th grade is kind of when, if the student has not started looking for colleges, if the student has not started creating that college list, researching which schools the student wants to go to, junior year is the latest that they should be doing. Obviously, we have had students inside of Best College Aid who join us when they're seniors, and they do this very last minute, and it's more stressful. So the earlier the child starts looking for scholarships and doing this research, the better the chances of finding the right school. It's honestly less stressful, and it's gonna give the student more time to really research, to really look within themselves and see, okay, who am I? What do I like? Where do I want to be? And which colleges offer the things that I am looking for, not only in the academic sense, which is really, really important, but also in the extracurricular sense, in the social sense, and honestly, most importantly, the financial sense, because part of the college search and college application process is looking for colleges that fit your family's financial profile. So this is something that is done in this college search. So, starting your college search and your scholarship search on time helps the student stay on track of the application process, decreases stress. It also increases the chances of success, like I mentioned. And this should be started before junior year of high school. This doesn't mean that it should be started on junior year. I'm not saying like if you're a junior, or don't wait until your senior year to start this. If you're a junior and you haven't done it, okay, this is your, or if you're watching this as a parent, this is your, signal, or your sign to get your child to start that process. But if you have kids in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, and they haven't started this process, right now is the perfect time. You don't want to wait until it's too late. And even if there are parents or students watching that are our seniors, because we do get a lot of seniors watching us, or parents of seniors. It is December of senior year. If your child is a 12th grader, there's still things that can be done. Don't wait until the last minute. Maybe in a couple of months, it will be. Obviously, it wouldn't be too late in the sense that you cannot go to college, but the chances of getting accepted into the right college or the best college for your child might decrease, because maybe if they're applying regular decision, they're going to be missing out, or they could be missing out on those regular decision deadlines. Maybe it's a school that has rolling admissions, and with rolling admissions, they kind of grant admission on a rolling basis. But once that class is capped, they cannot let any more students in. So it's important to, right now, December, if you're a senior or the parent of a senior, yes, there's still things that could be done, but don't wait too long, all right? Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's share a little bit more, tips, and these are the more geared towards my juniors. And this is the first tip is to create a calendar when it comes to the SAT and the ACT exams. The SAT and ACT exams, these are tests. In case you didn't know this, these are tests that a lot of colleges and universities, either it's optional or colleges require students to submit the results from these exams when they are applying to their school. So even if a school is test optional, we always recommend that students try and students study and try to get a really high score because, if a college looks at at two applicants, right? A college has two applications where the students have really similar similar GPAs, similar extracurriculars, volunteering, everything is very similar. But the only difference is one student didn't submit the SAT or ACT, but the other student did submit it and they got an above average score. Who do you think, if the students are very similar, their essays were very good, who do you think the school is going to admit? Well, I think they would probably admit the student who kind of went the extra mile and submitted that SAT or SAT, right? So just wanted to share that about these exams. And obviously, for my juniors, even if your child, don't ever just think, oh, some schools are test optional. My student, or if you're a student watching this, I don't really do well with tests, I'm not even gonna try. Always try. If you really find out that really the test, you took it a lot of times, you studied and you just got nervous, it just wasn't for you, that's a different case, that's another case. But don't ever just think, I'm not good enough for this, I'm not going to do well, I'm not even going to try, because trust me, the SAT and the ACT, as you see on this slide and as I will discuss in this for this tip, there's a lot of strategies and a lot of ways to answer certain questions in these exams that the smartest kid in the class, or an average student, could learn how to answer if they dedicate time to study and preparing. Our students inside of Best College Aid have access to 1 year SAT and a year of SAT and a year of ACT Prep Plus accounts from Kaplan, so online Prep Plus accounts, where they learn strategies, where they have access to video lessons, they have access to study materials, mock exams for them to learn what it is like on test day, what type of questions each exam asks, and how to answer some of the geometry, some of the math questions, some of the science questions for the ACT. So there are strategies to these exams, and the earlier that the student starts preparing, the better. Honestly, when it comes to junior year and these exams, our biggest tip is that students should register to take these exams on junior year. Like, they should be taking them at least second semester of junior year. But the preparing, the practicing could even start like sophomore year, 10th grade. And a lot of the subjects, a lot of the material and the things that you will see on these exams it's things that like the student will be taught in the first 3 years of high school. That's why we recommend that they take it on junior year, second semester junior year. So for winter break, students should set a study schedule for the SAT and ACT, or if they already know if they're only going to be taking the SAT or the ACT because they feel comfortable with one of the exams, set a study schedule, define which test is best for the student, and set maybe like 2-3 days out of your break, maybe for an hour or two per day, to prepare and to study, because you should be taking that exam that second semester, which literally is just around the corner. We are already in December 4th, so that is going to be coming real soon. Take the opportunity to focus on the areas that need improvement, and get familiar with the exam format. That's why having resources like the one we offer inside of Best College Aid for our members are free ACT or SAT online Prep Plus accounts. These resources give access to mock exams. There's mock exams, full tests for students to take, and they get the results back. They can see which answers they got wrong, and with that they can see, okay, well, if I got all these answers about geometry, about the reading section, and they're very similar, I need to dedicate more time to study or to practice these type of questions. So it's important that you are dedicating some time to study for these exams, because if you are a junior or if you're a parent of a junior, they should be taking these exams next semester, if they haven't registered for any, because you do have to sign up for an exam online on these websites. Also, take time to make a plan. All right, there's exams in February, March. So I mean, all of next semester. There are some over the summer or right in the beginning of summer. So you could also help your child make a plan and see, okay, so if I'm going to be taking one of the SAT in May, let's sign up for that and see, all right, how many weeks till then, how many months, which days of the week I'm going to be studying for that, and just have a plan, a study plan, right? Because you want to do as well as you can in these exams, because the higher the test scores, the higher the SAT or ACT scores that your child gets, the higher the chances of getting accepted into very competitive schools, or, more competitive schools. And also the higher the chances of receiving either institutional aid, because yes, there are schools that award institutional aid to students that do well on these exams, and the higher the chances of receiving private scholarships, because students could also be rewarded with private scholarships depending on the scholarship that they apply. There are scholarships for students that do well on these exams. So it's important to practice and to try. Don't think that you are not good enough. Don't think that it's impossible. Again, I know I already said this, but when it comes to these exams, the last thing that you want to do as a student, or the last thing that you want your student to do, is to not try at all. Okay, it's important to at least give it a try, give it a go, study, use resources like the one we offer inside of Best College Aid for these exams, and try really hard. Alrighty. You are good enough and you can do this. Alrighty. So my next tip for you is, this is for students, juniors: develop your interests if you haven't done so already. Have your child identify their passions, their interests inside and outside of the classroom, or by junior year, they should have an idea of what it is that, in the academic sense, what they are passionate about, or what interests them. And also when it comes to extracurricular activities, maybe they already have this, but it's important to, if you have a child or if you're a junior watching this, assess if whether or not you practice an extracurricular activity that you're passionate about, and it could potentially help you gain scholarships. Maybe you already do. Maybe your student is in the swim team, the basketball team, the soccer team. Maybe they do marching band. Maybe they are part of the theater club or debate. Maybe they are the president of the Spanish club, the math club. They're a mathlete. They go to all these academic competitions. They're in robotics, engineering club. There are so many things that students could do. It's not just athletics, is not just art, it's not just photography. There's so many things that colleges and universities award students with, either an acceptance or with financial aid and scholarships. And it's essentially, colleges want students who are passionate about something, right? They want well-rounded students, and they will take interest on a student who demonstrate their passions and their interests through extracurriculars, through academics, by having leadership positions, volunteer hours, etc. So if the student hasn't done so already, have them develop their interests, show duration and commitment, participate in activities that reflect skills and commitment. So what does duration and commitment mean? Basically, a lot of students, and I have had students who join Best College Aid, and they come in ninth grade, and they're like, I joined Key Club, I joined Best Buddies, I joined, the soccer team, the basketball team, and they do it for maybe a month, and they're like, nah, I'm done. Or, they are just not passionate, or they straight out tell me, I'm just doing it because it's going to look good in a college application. And, colleges will see if a student just joined a bunch of clubs, and either was them freshman year, maybe they stayed in one, or they didn't even stay in any when it was by the time they were seniors. So colleges want to see duration and commitment. So what does that mean? If a student joined Best Buddies, or if they joined SGA, Student Government Association, their freshman year, their first year of high school, colleges want to see that students stuck around and not even just were part of this club throughout the 4 years, or maybe they joined sophomore year or junior year. But they also want students who show commitment and skills. So maybe having that could be reflected in having a leadership position in one of these clubs, or holding, you don't have to be the president or the treasurer, though that's an amazing thing to do and something that you could definitely work in your favor. But there's a lot of times that clubs have fundraisers and they need students to run certain committees. For example, the National Honor Society, which all my family, all of the members of my family were part of NHS. It was a very cool club because, yes, you had the people who were the director, the president, the vice president. There was a treasurer, and there was an event coordinator. So you had the board, and my senior year, I was the president. But my junior year, you couldn't run for the board until you were a senior. But my junior year, I was part of committees because there was the board, but then there were subcommittees, and that were in charge of the different events that were planned throughout the year. So we had Relay for Life that NHS was, in charge of. So our vice president was in charge of planning for Relay for Life. And then we had Toys for Tots, which was another event that took place first semester around the holidays. So I was a president, and I was in charge of that with the treasurer. So we were in charge of running that committee, and we had a kind of like a president of that committee. Those were the juniors, so the people who were in junior year of high school. In my junior year, I was in one of those committees. So when I was applying to college and going through my interview process, I was able to talk about my commitment throughout the years in that specific club, and I was able to elaborate and talk about how it helped me eventually become the president of the National Honor Society. And that was just that's just an example of that final bullet that you might see of showing duration and commitment and participating in activities that reflect skills and commitment. So make sure, if you're a junior, if you're the parent of a student who is a junior, or if you're a parent, honestly, this should happen way before junior year. It could even start like developing these skills, developing these passions. It could even start in middle school, finding out what the student loves. And we always recommend that students, when it comes to extracurriculars or clubs, organizations, students do something that they really, really like and they're really passionate about, because it's going to be, make their life easier, make your life as a parent, if you're watching, much easier. You're not going to have to tell your student, your child, all right, you got to get ready for soccer practice, and then they're going to roll their eyes and be like, why? I hate soccer. If they're just doing it because you put them in that, or, you thought that it would be a good activity. If they choose something that they really love, it's going to be easier, and they're going to be motivated, and it's going to just honestly make things flow in an easier and more, there's going to be that line of communication. Because, for example, my brother David, he was a swimmer, and his whole entire life he wanted to swim. He knew that he wanted to, his dream obviously was to go to the Olympics, but if that didn't happen, he just wanted to go as far as he could, swim for as long as he could. And this was something that he loved, and my parents were never like, you have to go to practice. He went to practice because he liked it and he had a goal in mind. Myself, I loved theater. That was my extracurricular activity, and I didn't start it actually till my sophomore year of high school. I did dance when I was younger, and I took a couple of singing lessons when I was 8 years old. But when I got to high school, I was like, you know what, this is something that I always wanted to do. I did it once, loved it. I auditioned for a show, was part of a musical, and ever since, I just fell in love with it. It was something that brought me so much joy. Even now, like I still do. I do the theater classes on the side because it's just something that I really love. And it helped me in high school, get through high school, do something that I was passionate about. I was also part of the board of my theater club. And then when I was applying to colleges, I looked for schools where I could continue to do this activity. I auditioned for a couple of programs and I got accepted to Marist College, where they had a theater program, a theater scholarship. And I got a $1,000 scholarship to do theater in college. And it was something that I liked. So it felt like a reward. It felt like I was being paid to do what I liked, which was super awesome. And that's what happens with a lot of students who are athletes, students who maybe are in the marching band and debate that get scholarships and they really like what they do. They basically, when they get a scholarship, you can think about it like that. You're getting paid to go to college, obviously learn, but do what you love. So that was really awesome, and that's something that we help our students do. And for example, I have a couple of students inside of West College Aid who have gotten accepted into theater programs. We have a student, Gabby, and she transferred. She was already in college, and she transferred into Northwestern University with a scholarship of over $70,000, and she's actually doing musical theater, like majoring in it. And she's so happy, and it's a really good program. And she got a high scholarship for her academics, but also theater was part of her scholarship package, that extracurricular. So I kind of love to see that because it's something that I did. So yeah, that's just a fun fact that I wanted to throw in there, and how being passionate about something, it goes hand in hand with our second tip, if you help your child, or if students, if you're watching this, if you develop interests, if you develop passions and use them to your advantage, it could help you in this process, in this college application process. Not only get accepted, but find scholarships so that you can fund and finance your education. Alrighty? All right, so let's move on to tip number 3, which is improving your GPA. If your students' grades or grade point average, if maybe they're taking a class and they review and they assess the situation and they see that maybe their grades in this class or in a specific subject are they're underperforming, or they're below average, it's important to dedicate time to find a tutor and to try to improve that GPA, because a good GPA is crucial for college applications. And a high GPA helps your child be eligible for a lot of scholarships, for private scholarships, for institutional scholarships, some state programs, some state scholarships also look at grades, at GPA. So obviously, like, if your child has just average grades, this doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to go to any schools or they're not going to get any scholarships. But having higher grades is just going to make it easier to find or to get accepted into schools that are a bit more competitive, or get institutional aid and scholarships from schools that accept them, and even like state programs, like I mentioned. For example, Florida has the Florida Prepaid, which is a state program that awards scholarships and financial aid to students who perform well, have a specific GPA. There's different tiers and there's different requirements, but one of the things that they look at is academics, GPA. Does the student have a specific GPA? They also one of the requirements can be the SAT or ACT scores, volunteer hours. So this is a state program, a state scholarship program that is very, very well-rounded. It really does look at every aspect of the student. And that's just one example. There's a lot of state scholarship programs in every state. Every state is different. The requirements are going to be different for every program. But a lot of times they do look at GPA. So even if your child, also, don't take this the wrong way, or don't think that if you as a student are a junior or even a senior or sophomore and freshman year, You just did not do well in your French class. But you've been trying in all your other classes. Don't think that if you just got one bad grade, that's it. That's like you're done. There are ways to improve a GPA. There are ways to take more classes to bring that GPA up and really demonstrate schools that, yeah, maybe you messed up, but you really did try to bring your grades up. So please dedicate, sit down, assess the situation, review and improve the grades in subjects where your child might have underperformed. And, remember that a lot of institutional scholarships, a lot of state scholarships do look at GPA. So this tip also, if you have a child or you're a student that's maybe in middle school, freshman year, just to try to start off with a strong GPA with good grades, because it's easier to start off with a high GPA or above average GPA and try to maintain that than to start with a low GPA and try to bring it up. It is possible to bring that GPA up, but it's better to just start off in a good spot and try to keep that momentum, right? Alrighty, so that was tip number 3. Let's share our final tip, and it's to prepare for midterms. Junior year grades are maybe the most important grades because in a lot of cases, especially students who apply early action or who just send, even if it's regular decision, if they send their application early, colleges, the last grades that they might see is going to be those junior year grades. Obviously, senior year grades will matter, and the schools, even if they accept you, they will see the students' senior year grades. But junior year is the last, in a lot of situations, it's the last grades that colleges and college admissions officers are going to see. So it's important to get good grades first, second semester, every semester, but get good grades. The last chance to, not the last chance, but one of the last chances to bring those grades up, maybe try to get A's and B's, straight A's, and all those things do matter. So it's important to prepare for midterms and use the winter break to prepare for these exams. And I know that some high schools do have midterms before winter break, but a lot of schools tend to do these final exams, midterm exams. Some schools call them midterms. Some schools call them final exams. To prepare, they do it after winter break. So this is also a good time for students to prepare for these exams. I remember when I was in high school, our school did midterms after winter break. So, it was nice to not have to kind of grind during that last month or those couple first weeks of December and then have a midterm before break. But it was also kind of, you really had to dedicate time to study, and some people were lazy and you were like, well, it's a winter break, I don't really want to study, but also it's an advantage because you're having more time to study. So look at the positives, try to stay on track, try to study and get good grades, especially if you're a junior, because this might be the last grades that you like, full grades that you will have before you send those college applications. And my seniors, or parents of seniors in high school, don't think that just because your child maybe already apply or it's applying, but they don't have to send these grades for that first semester of high school and even second semester of senior year of high school. Those grades still matter. Don't slack. Don't students really, really try hard, because there are students who get accepted into college and they get they had good grades, and senior year they just their grades drop, their GPA drops, maybe they even get some D's, maybe they don't pass a class, and schools they will penalize students who do that. If it's a very dramatic drop, if they see that a student just was like, oh, they got senioritis, they could either put the student who got accepted into a school in academic probation, or they could just take that application away, defer that application. So it really revoke your application, so your admissions. So it's important to still try to get good grades during these midterms and honestly all throughout senior year. All right, just wanted to clarify that. Alrighty, so those were my tips on what to do over winter break, specifically for my juniors in high school. Now, I always want to share more tips with you. I always want to give you guys more resources to prepare for college admissions. So please, if you haven't done so already and you really want to learn more, we do have more information in the link in my bio. If you want to learn the top secrets to getting accepted to college with scholarships, the link is in this video's description. So if you want to check that out, it's a completely free resource where Francisco goes over the top secrets to get accepted to college with scholarship. Is a very, very, very interesting. It's full of information, a presentation full of insightful information that we created after we heard from our parents inside of Best College Aid. We heard from people who have passed through and asked us questions. So if you really want to learn a lot of the information that we answer and that we have answered over the years, some of the biggest secrets, college admissions secrets and scholarships, make sure that you check out that free training. The link is in this video's description, so check it out, register, and take advantage of that free resource that we have for you. Alrighty? So that was my presentation. I don't know if there's any questions. I did see that Lily Vidal did comment and said hello in the beginning, but that was it. I hope that you enjoyed this live stream. Don't forget to follow us on social media, Best College Aid USA. Really take advantage of that free training that we have for you. It's a free resource. All the content that we share here on social media, all the videos, all the live streams are meant to help as many people as possible because it is free for information that we want to share with you. In this live stream, we also have that, but it's more in depth than what you see here on social media. So that's why I really encourage you to sign up and to watch this free training. And also, if any of you are interested in learning more about our Best College Aid membership and what we do offer inside that membership, at the end of that training, you can see what we do at Best College Aid, how we help our members, and how we have helped thousands of families navigate the college admissions process and help their students get accepted into incredible institutions. So if you're interested, you can register for this free training, learn amazing tips, amazing information that is completely free and just accessible to you and whoever wants to sign up. And at the end, as I said, you can learn more about Best College Aid. Alrighty? Well, that was all. I hope that you liked this presentation. I had a lot of fun. I love talking about these type of things. So thank you so much. My name is Laura Cantu. Stay tuned for everything that we have coming in store for you with our new set, our new content that we will be sharing with you, and everything that is coming up in the new year. Thank you so much for watching us. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.